Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the LG Velvet. So this year LG decided not to launch a flagship, but instead they launched a fashion phone, or at least so they hoped. It's basically a high mid-range phone which is priced at around $769, and it wants to compete with the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G and the Motorola Edge. I'm talking about the regular Motorola Edge, not the Plus one. That's because it has the Snapdragon 765G CPU inside, and I have to say, this is quite the long phone. And it's got a huge quantity of glass, it's got glass all over. We have here the gray version of the device. There are actually several colors here. There's Aurora White, Aurora Green, there's also Aurora Gray, which is this one, and the beautiful Illusion Sunset, which I wish we would have had. Okay, so we fired it up. It's an unboxing, so let's see what's inside the box. First of all, I suspect this is a prototype or a test unit because we don't have the full array of accessories. We do have this key used to access the slots. We also have this cable which goes from USB-C to USB-A and hooks up to the charger here, which sadly only juices up the phone up to 16 watts, even though the phone can take up to 22.5 watts of charging. Okay, so that's about it. That's everything we got inside the box. There should have been a manual, there should have been many things, and the phone also plays nicely with a special accessory that brings a second screen. Okay, now some interesting facts about design. If you thought the Motorola Edge was a long phone, this is actually longer. I'm talking about 5.6 millimeters longer than the Motorola Edge, at the same time around 5 millimeters longer than the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. I've already played with the phone, as you can tell by the fact it's already been set up, so we don't have to take you to the whole setup process. Okay, so the device is made of glass. There is glass at the front and it's curved, although not as much as the water flow display of the Huawei Mate 30 Pro. Then we have the metal frame, which is all aluminum and measures 7.9 millimeters in thickness, and in spite of being such a huge phone, it weighs only 180 grams. There is glass at the back side, also gently curved in a symmetric way with the one at the front. It feels a bit like the American football, as I like to call it, when they both have the same curvature, the front and the back. And at the back side we have a camera with a teardrop approach. It's like it's dripping from bigger drop to smaller drop in a triple camera setup. We've covered the design, we got things cleared about the material which are being used here. I have to say, this is quite the slippery gadget, so be advised and go buy a case as fast as possible if you get a phone. Now, screen wise, what we're seeing here, we're dealing here with a P-OLED panel. That's the screen, plastic OLED, 6.8 inches, and a resolution of 2460 over 1080 pixels. It's got that U-shaped notch at the top side for the selfie camera, and also it has an in-display fingerprint scanner, which frankly feels a bit slow, but it may be the fault of the animation and not always very accurate. Okay, we covered the screen. Let's talk about other aspects here, like for example the CPU. We have here a familiar face. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G. I've seen it before on the Motorola Edge, on the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G, and it also comes accompanied by 6 or 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. The good news is that we also have a microSD card slot. Also good news is that we have an audio jack here, and we also have USB-C, and we have stereo speakers, one here and this pretty large slit at the top side above the U-shaped selfie camera. Okay, so now I want to go into the browser, access our website, as I'm starting to cover up the batteries. So the battery is a 4300 mAh unit, which offers you 25 watt charging, and that's wired, plus 9 watt wireless charging. That's about it battery wise. On the camera front, the selfie shooter is a 16 megapixel one here, sadly only with fixed focus. It does full HD video, and we go to the back side where we find the triple camera array. This is the LED flash. This is the 48 megapixel camera with f1.8 aperture, sadly only a Samsung sensor, not a Sony one, would have been nice. There's the ultrawide and the bokeh camera, 8 megapixel and 5 megapixel respectively. 4K only at 30 frames per second. Okay, so that's about it. We also have Wi-Fi dual band. There's also 5G as expected from the CPU pairing before. There's NFC, and aside from that, you also get Bluetooth 5.1, USB-C, and GPS. Okay, so the UI we're running here is Android 10 with a pretty funky approach. It's very intense. These green toggles are pretty intense, and you can see some changes in iconography and other aspects. I also see that by default we don't have the app drawer enabled, but I'm pretty sure you can enable it from the settings. Okay, so we've covered all the specs. I'll keep my impression. It's a very long phone. Not sure about the fashion phone thing. Depends on your preference. Not as curved as the Motorola Edge. And now I'm curious about the camera interface. I'm going to use this little birdie here. Place it on the velvet. And apparently we have to go to a tutorial of sorts later. Okay, so pretty straightforward interface is what I'm seeing here. Pretty minimalistic. Skip to zoom like that. Go to ultra wide. Okay, and we also have some effects to apply. And there are also stickers. There is the more section with manual camera, AR stickers, panorama, YouTube live, night view, slow-mo, portrait of course, okay, photo, video, time-lapse, and that's about it. I'm going to uncover more as time passes and we find time to cover up all the settings and useful info here. Okay, so as I was perusing the interwebs, trying to find useful info about the handset, guess what I found? Turns out that one of its apps, supposed to be the HD audio recorder, has a special ASMR feature. So if you want to perform a special ASMR recording, that's a thing. And there's also a special feature so you can record your voice on top of an instrumental track and become the next trap sensation. So those are only two aspects here, and by the way, you also have 24-bit audio recording, so this may be a bit of a tool for aspiring musicians. That's about it. This has been our first contact with the LG Velvet. It definitely needs a case, is definitely slippery, and it's a bit of an acquired taste design-wise. Not sure about the camera setup, sounds a bit modest for the price, but I'll be back with impressions and definitely some samples. This is it from gsno.com. Bye bye.